I traded GoFunded futures for 30 days testing their 50K end of day challenge, and the results were, let's just say, even a shock to me.
What? Wait, hold on, what's going on? Let me see.
In this video, I'm going to be taking the GoFunded futures 50K end of day challenge with the goal of answering 3 important questions. Can I pass their challenge? How is trading with this firm? And where do they rank against other popular firms? So not only are you going to learn what I think of GoFunded futures, but you're also going to learn how I trade funding challenges. Okay, so the first thing that we have to do is the plan. So how do I actually plan to trade this account? The very first thing I have to do is go through all of the rules in the account to see how I have to actually trade it. And I made a full review on the reviews, but here are some of the most important. Okay, so on this account, I need to make $4,500 to pass, and I only have $2,500 in drawdown. Not to mention, there's a 50% consistency rule, so that means that I can't make more than half of my profit target in a single day. My first goal is to build this account past the 50% mark, and I'm going to do this risking only $500 in a trade, in hopes that I make 2 times each trade that I take, and with this approach I can have 5 losing days before I end up losing the account, which sounded like a good plan.
Immediate rejection here following this bullish move. So we're getting a rejection off of this area of interest high. Chances of us getting a continuation are less, being that we don't have any news, but we do want to see that bullish volume kind of carry us higher. All right, we broke above the high, just hit the 1-to-1 risk to reward. Stops moves to break even. I'm gonna trail my stops into profit, protecting my capital loss. And what I want to see is this 1-minute candle to just push up into this. We already have some rejection here, so if I get taken out, that's fine by me.
Okay, so day 1, I actually ended up making $515 on that day. Day 2, I ended up losing $98. That was okay because day 3, I wound up making $892. Day 4, I made an additional $291. And by day 5, I was already in profit over $1,600, still $650 away from crossing off my first goal and getting past that 50% consistency rule. Because then we can move on to the next stage of my plan. The entire next week, I actually didn't trade the account because I was having trouble with my copy trader. But the immediate week after that, I ended up trading again. I took 2 trades and wound up making about $200 profit. At this point, I was just $450 away from crossing my 50% checkpoint. And the next week, that's when it hit me.
All right, we're gonna set a sell. Activated in this trade. Now, what do we want to do? We want to see price go down, not push back up off the rip, but we want to see a continuation to the downside for then price to hit a 1-to-1, which would be right here, and then a 1-to-2. Wait, 1-to-1 would be right here. So we'll set an alert there, an alert there, and then a 1-to-2 would be right here. Now we're selling into that resistance, so I got a little heftier risk than I would want it. We can break through this low, that'll be a great sign. If not, we're likely gonna get this run through of our high. Okay.
The very first day, I ended up losing $644, taking me back now to only $1,150 in profit on the account. The next trade I took was a winner of $241, bringing my total now up to just about $1,400, not knowing what tomorrow's trade would hold. Little did I know that this would be my best trading day yet.
Okay, so we got this steeper move down. So what does this lead me to believe? This leads me to believe that price is trying to make a steeper move down. 5-minute looks solid. Just got activated here. Yeah, this 5-minute candle is closing below this low. Let's see if we can't get a continued run to the downside. It's this 1 minute right here.
Uh-huh.
This one, bro, come on, don't flip this 1 minute. Come on.
It ain't gonna flip, bro. It's gonna melt. There you go.
All
There
right,
you go.
I'm out of there.
Watch it drip. Watch it drip now.
These accounts are in good standing. This account, this is a challenge account as well, so we're gonna look to pass this with gold.
I ended up making $1,340, which now brought my total up to $2,737. And now that I hit the 50% threshold, I can now move on to the next phase of my plan. From here, the goal is simple. I now just need under $1,800 to pass. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna risk $1,000 on my next trade, looking to make a 1 to 2 risk to reward, which will literally pass the account. And let me tell you, this can oftentimes be the hardest part, being so close, just wanting to hit the finish line and finish the challenge off. And that's exactly where my luck started to take a turn.
We've just gotten activated. Broken above that area of interest high. Got a nice little spike in volume. I'm going to go ahead and take the risk off of this trade here and anticipate this bullish continuation up. Taken out there at break even. So I'm activated in this trade here. My 1-to-1 is right here. Immediately off of getting activated, we started to see some rejection here. I'm going to get taken out. That's going to be what it was.
The very next trade wound up being a loser, and I lost $1,092, bringing my total back down to just under $1,700. Since that's below 50%, I can't pass on the next trade, so I reduced my risk back down to $500. Now, the next trade, I ended up making $325, and by this point, I'm back above that 2,000 mark and currently 3 weeks into the challenge, and that's when I noticed something very, very important.
On this account, I had $2,500 in drawdown. Since I'm up $1,500, I now have $4,000 in drawdown.
My drawdown said that I had $4,000 to risk, so technically, I could continue risking my $1,000 because I had grown my buffer. Or so I thought.
$4,000 of drawdown, $1,000 loss isn't going to hurt this account. And I'm just going to look to make a 1 to 2 risk to reward. If I hit a 1 to 2 risk to reward, that'll put me up $2,000, and then I'll be back above that consistency, and I can look to finish the account with one additional trade, looking for about an $1,000 risk for a 1-to-1 risk to reward.
Instead of just risking the 500, which could take a little longer, I'm going to keep risking the $1,000 until I pass. That very next trade, I ended up losing $1,258, my biggest loss of the entire series.
It's just kind of rejecting off of this area. Just got activated. I hate that we don't have no top wick here. Taken out. That's going to end my day. I can't take another trade on, at least not on these accounts here that I'm on.
Which was followed by 3 more losing days that totaled up into $650 in losses. Adding all of these losses plus the fees from entering the trades, that brought my current balance to $40 in the negative. So after 3 weeks of trading, we're literally back at break even. But break even is not a bad spot to be, right? After all, we still have $2,460 left of drawdown that we can use. So I'm feeling pretty confident going into this next week that we are going to get back above that 50% and then, wound up passing the challenge. So day 1 of the new week, I look to take an absolutely beautiful setup. And when I go to enter my trade, it says this message.
We're going to go ahead and take our sell. Right here. Your account is currently locked due to blocked account. Please contact the trade desk in addition. Wait, what's going on? Hold on. Let me check something.
Failed?
How did I fail the account? I still got 2,460. What? It says your account has experienced a drawdown event leading to the closure of open trades. Regrettably, you did not meet our funded trading challenge requirements.
At this point, I'm completely stunned. I don't know why, what's going on. So then I reached out to some of the people I knew who worked for GoFunded Futures and said, hey, look, my dashboard says that I got $2,400 left in drawdown, but I can't trade my account. Like, what's going on? And then I got this message that basically said that my account was auto liquidated because we had got to the auto liquidation level, right? And so apparently that there was a trailing max drawdown on the account. And so this is where things start to get a little shaky. Because remember I told you I made a full video breaking down all of the rules with GOAT Funded Futures. Okay, so what we're looking at is my GOAT Funded Futures account. You can see my balance says that we're at $49,960, so relatively $40 in drawdown. But then you can see here on my dashboard, which is something that I praised GOAT Funded Futures for in my review, was I loved the way that their dashboard was set up. This dashboard says that I still have $2,460 left and 25 cents. You could also see that it says my maximum drawdown level here is 47,500. Now, I didn't want to just jump to any conclusions like, okay, maybe the dashboard is just wrong. So if we actually come here to the site and you look at their end of day trailing, two things are different. So if we come into here into the FAQ, there's nothing stating about a trailing drawdown on the end of day evaluation plan, right? So you can go through all of these things. There's nothing that says it there. Not to mention, if we just type in trailing here, you can see that trailing pops up just for one account. That is the Express Plan account. You can see the maximum end of day trailing loss limit. Initially, I thought that it was something on my end that I did wrong, or I just simply didn't look over the rule. But then after double checking and then watching the review, I realized that, hey, we went over all of the rules. The only reason why this rule wasn't on my radar is because it's not on the site mentioned anywhere, right? So I've been held to the standards of a rule that we didn't know existed. So as a result, we ended up breaching this account here. You can see that it is in fact a failed account. I don't know. I don't know what to say, right? I don't know. I'll let you guys decide what it is that you think happened here, right? Does EOD 50K automatically mean it is a end of day trailing drawdown? Or does it just mean that your end of day updates where it's at? And if so, then at the very least, this should update as well, because this is actually what I was utilizing to base how much drawdown I had left on my account. And you can see here, it still says that we have $2,460 of drawdown left. And so I was playing and trading with that in mind. Had I known that we only had a trailing drawdown, I would have reduced my risk back to that $500 and I wouldn't have risked that additional $1,000. But because my account told me that I have $4,000 in drawdown, we were like, okay, we can take two more trades at $1,000 because we still will have at the very least $2,000 of drawdown to trade with, right? And so it definitely affected the way that I traded this account for sure, at the very least for sure. So I'll let you guys decide what it is. I haven't had a response yet, and if I do get a response, hopefully we do, I'll update you guys on, what that is. But as of right now, I'll let you to judge this account. So the three important questions I wanted to answer was, one, can I pass their challenge? And technically, I failed their account, right? From a technicality, I definitely did fail the account. But, I mean, can you blame me considering everything wasn't necessarily blatantly laid out for me? And then, how is trading with this firm? In terms of actually executing on my positions and things like that, trading with the firm was fine. But like until we came down to this, intraday trailing drawdown thing, and then the maximum drawdown level not updating here, that really hindered my trading on the account. So I can't give it a high rating in terms of that. And then how does it stack up against other firms in the industry? I personally trade with multiple different prop firms. I think that based on them bringing their profit target down to $3,000 and that $2,000 drawdown, I think that is well more industry standard. Also, the end of day account costs $50 all in. So in terms of a pricing standpoint, they do rank pretty high. But in terms of the reliability and the dependency on the firm, I can't quite say that it is there. It is a newer firm, so hopefully they get these kinks worked out so that this is not a problem for somebody else in the future. And hopefully that we can trade with them again. They'll allot us an account for the misconception of the rules, and if not, we'll just take it on the chin. And I don't know that we'll go forward with it, but we'll see. So let me know down in the comments, what do you think about GOAT Funded Futures based on the experience that I've had here. Have you had your own experience with GOAT funded futures? I'm curious. Let me know down in the comments. But as always, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.